As the U.S. economy continues to struggle, findings from the 2010 Stress in America survey paint a picture of an overstressed nation. Feeling the effects of prolonged recession-related difficulties, Americans are struggling to balance work and home life, with stress not only taking a toll on their health, but also on the well-being of their families. The American Psychological Association Stress in America Finding 2010. Today we're going to talk about stress disorders, and I've also included the areas that are hard to understand. Of course, that's going to be your physiological makeup of stress. Stress disorders, I feel, consist of your phobias, your anxiety disorders, and your post-traumatic stress. These can be very disabling to some and can lead to very stressful feelings in others. So what is stress? Stress is a physiological reaction caused by the perception of aversive or threatening situation. As you can find in chapter 17, page 601, there's more definitions to it. And those situations can either be a stress response or it can cause a situation that causes a stress response. Your signs and symptoms can include cognitive symptoms as well as behavioral symptoms, from memory problems to abusing drugs and alcohol. So what social factors cause stress? Well, Sapolsky in 2004 found that a person's social status, hierarchy in society can dramatically influence the individual's quality of life and health of the individual with respect to stress-related disease. And socioeconomic status is the human approximation of social rank. So you'd find that money, work, and economic stress would be on the top of that list. Now, the causes of stress, according to that same American Psychological Association survey in 2010, found that 76% in 2010 thought that money was a major cause of stress. Money, work, and the economy remain the most often cited sources for stress for Americans, and parents report similar sources of stress as the rest of the population, with 80% citing money, 72% citing work, and 72% citing the economy as stressors. So to get into the difficult aspect of understanding stress, let's look at the physiology of the stress response. Hormonal responses of stress, you would include norepinephrine, which serves as a stress hormone. It's increased in the brain's hypothalamus, frontal cortex, and the lateral basal forebrain. You also have cortisol, which is secreted by the adrenal cortex, and it affects glucose metabolism, which is needed to help make energy. And then you have your corticotropins, or your CRF. Now, what neurons basically fight off stress? Well, according to Kawaki and Zhang in 2012, recent findings show that the orexin neuron found in the hypothalamus act as a master switch when it comes to emotional stress. And the sympathetic nervous system initiates a relaxation response which aims to reestablish an equal balance. Now, the anatomy of anxiety here just shows the neurological pathways of stress and anxiety and what can trigger it. But to go more into further detail, as you'll see in the next slide, chronic stress can be damaging to particular areas of the brain, mainly the hypothalamus, which regulates the sex hormones, blood pressure, and body temperature, the amygdala, which regulates the heartbeat and other visceral functions, the hippocampus, which helps establish long-term memory, and the pons medulla oblongata, which controls breathing, circulation, heartbeat, and digestion. So we know that a lot of us take medicine to combat stress and anxiety. So how does medicine work to reduce stress? Well, medicine works sort of like endorphins, which trigger a positive feeling in your body, however artificially induced. So for example, if you take Ativan for anxiety, the drug interacts with the receptors in your brain that reduce feelings of anxiety and stress. Now, other holistic approaches can do the same in a more natural manner. For example, exercise has been proven to reduce stress, ward off anxiety, improve sleeping habits, lower blood pressure, and improve strength and health. Now, just remember that synthetic drugs can become highly addictive, so it's best to try the other natural methods, such as good diet and exercise as mentioned, and maybe even a little positive thinking, and avoid the drugs altogether. So let's recap. Stress is a physiological reaction Stress is a physiological reaction caused by an aversive or threatening situation. Signs of stress can include cognitive and behavioral symptoms. Hormonal responses to stress include norepinephrine and other stress-related hormones such as cortisol. The sympathetic nervous system serves to create a balance when stress is detected to allow for a relaxation response. Now, this is pretty much the end of my discussion. I certainly enjoyed this class. It was a great learning experience. I learned a lot. It had its challenges, and the discussion board, of course, was great. So I definitely want to thank you, and I look forward to seeing you guys in other classes. Don't forget, today's registration day if you're under 12 credits. Have a good one.